What's hatching, Toga peeps? Welcome to The Last Resort, your last and final stop for all the important information that nobody else wants to tell you because they don't care. As always, well, actually, as
always.
As always, I say that in my videos.
As for the first time ever.
Yeah, as for the first time ever, The Last Resort coming to you thanks to the two generous donators that started this foundation, Two Purious and the one, the only...
Fizzy Stardust, that's me. How's it going, guys?
You got the inventor of swag and the bastion of old coming at you with the Pokemon breakdown. So, for those of you who are new to the show, which is everybody, we're going to tell you a little bit about what's going to go on in this kind of show. Pretty much going to be a Pokemon informational show. Going to go a little bit off information from time to time, but the majority of the time is going to be pretty much what's happening in the metagame, pretty much what's happening on Smogon because they run the metagame. So for those of you who can't read or have trouble navigating the site, which I did for the longest time.
I still do. I'll admit it.
Yeah. An interestingly put together forum they have.
Well, that's what you get when it's something that complicated.
Well, this is true. This is true. Yeah. Plus, they can make it however they want to because we need their information.
Yep. As much as you guys hate to admit it.
Exactly.
It's pretty important.
Yeah. So, yeah, we talk about Pokemon stuff. We're not only going to limit this to the video games, since Fizz and I both dabble a little bit in TCG. We're going to include that, and we're going to throw in some random other Pokemon stuff from time to time. But the majority and bulk of this will probably pretty much be based around the video games, because that's what we're both the most familiar with.
Yes, indeed. And probably mainly on standard play as well, because, hey, that's what everybody does, right? Right.
So, let's jump right into our vault of knowledge.
Ah, yes, we shall. So, the first thing on our list, which is probably old news to everybody by now, is the bans in UU.
Yep. What are they, about 2 weeks old now?
I could give you a date, and it would be actually only about a week and a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
yeah, they went up to 18th.
Yep. So, if you guys did not know, Smogon had UU voting. This is their second vote for UU, and the suspects for this round were Mew, the just biggest asshole in the world Chansey, Wobbuffet, Staraptor, Espeon, and Victini. Now, of those 6 Pokemon, 3 got banned, and we're looking... no, 4 got banned, excuse me. No, 3 got banned.
No, 3 got banned.
3 got banned. Wobbuffet, being a just beast, going from RU to banned in UU. Staraptor, with the Reckless ability and his ability to have Double Edge and Brave Bird, which is like 2 baller moves. Yep. And Espeon, just pretty much being a massive annoyance. Massive annoyance.
Right. Espeon just happens to have enough of everything.
Yes. It's got good speed, it's got a decent special bulk, it's got good special attack, and then its new ability that just bounces things away that doesn't want. Fuck you, Stealth Rocks, now they're on your side. It's really, really nice. And also, just throw this out there really quick, Chansey is suspect for next round. So if Chansey gets voted with over 50% next round, that's banned from UU too. And that'd be happy days for everybody.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Chansey only got a 56% ban vote.
It's shocking, because, when you factor in Eviolite, the thing's just a monster. I mean, there's hardly any one-shotting it. I mean, you have to have a massive fighting attack that's stabbed to just one-shot it. It's a beast.
I think the only thing that is keeping it floating in suspect for the time being is it really can't do much besides wall.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really...
It's not an attacking threat. I mean, it's decent for support, but not great.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like Cress. I mean, people think that Cress is like some awesome Pokemon, but really it just sits there and does nothing and heals. I mean,
Right.
it's an annoyance, it can status things, whatever, but it's not that great.
Right. Cress is easily ruined with Taunt.
Yeah. I mean, you pack Taunt, and Cress is like, oh shit, what do I do now? I have... The majority of them have one attacking move being either Ice Beam or Stab Psychic. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So, Cress is easy to work around, even though it can be an annoyance. But Chansey is just a monster.
Right. Well, I'm going to say big surprise with this vote was Victini getting the fewest votes for ban.
Right?
I mean, only being one vote behind Mew, but everybody bitching about it so much when it first came out. I mean, I understand that Drought got banned, and that really hurt it. But it's still a really freaking good Pokemon.
V-Create is the most just beast move ever. I mean, it has the ability to one-shot so many things with Choice Band. I mean, I used it on somebody, and I was like, I almost one-shot a Reuniclus. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? It did like 98% damage. It was shocking. I was like, I know it's going to do a lot, but it can't do that much. And it did that much.
Yeah. But now that Mew and Victini did not make it, they have both lost their suspect rating because they failed to make it twice.
Yes. And what I've been hearing about Victini is that it's not as big as a threat as it used to be because there's a lot of bulky waters. You got things like Kingdra that can 4 times resist the Recreate, so there's things that can kind of eat its hits pretty well. So it's not as big as a threat as it used to be. I think its typing is holding it back a little bit too.
Even though Psychic typing's killing a lot of stuff this generation.
It's always been a big hurt for a lot of Pokemon. It's like even last gen, as soon as whoever invented Scarf fucking Tyranitar, just that killed all Psychic types from being anything good.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it outpaced Starmie, which is massive speed, by like 1 speed point. And what are you going to do? You can't do anything. You just submit to being dead.
Right.
And I'd like to touch on Mew a little bit, too.
I knew you would.
I
know Mew's your boy. Yeah.
Mew is my homie. But I gotta say that I don't see it being banned from UU. And I know a lot of people disagree with that, and a lot of people are like, what are you on crack? Because while it can do everything, literally everything, it's not a big threat at any of the things that it does.
Right.
I mean, if the only big thing that it can do is Baton Pass, and Baton Pass a lot of stats really well, but there's more efficient ways to do that now with Smash Pass.
Yep. And Smash Pass not getting banned and losing its suspect status this round also.
You know what else did not get banned was
Snow Warning or whatever,
Yeah. So
I didn't see that getting banned. I thought that was just a bunch of people being retarded just trying to get all of the weather out.
This seems like what it was, but
because I mean,
well, you lost its big player.
Worst.
It is the worst
weather. The worst weather. I love it, but it is by far the worst weather and the hardest to abuse.
Yeah, I mean, for UU, its only big problem with hail was Kyurem, which got banned last round. So
right.
Now, okay, what are you going to use that has really strong Blizzard? That's really awesome. Not much. I mean, you could still stall, but that's really unreliable. Considering if you've ever built a Hail team, especially Hail stall, there's a lot of common weaknesses that get passed around if you really want to abuse it. Mainly fighting and rocks.
Well, Heracross is in UU this generation.
Yes. And
Heracross just fucks Hail teams.
Oh yeah, definitely. he goes beast mode.
Right.
And there's not that many spin blockers in Yu, I don't think, so... I mean, there's a few, but probably really ineffective.
Yeah. Well, nothing you want on a Hail team.
Exactly.
So, we covered the UU bans pretty good.
Indeed.
Anything else you want to go over while we're there? I mean, Wobbuffet, obvious ban. Staraptor,
Yeah.
obvious ban. The funniest thing about Wobbuffet was everybody's saying, I mean, I enjoy the fact that it went from RU to BL, but I thought it was even better that it went from Uber all the way down.
No, I know, that was genius.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you think about it, just everything it had going for it just kind of got nerfed. And
Oh, right. When
and
Encore?
yeah,
Encore got jacked so bad.
When Encore got fucked, nobody wanted to use Wobbuffet because that was his bread and butter.
Oh, right.
He
Funny
stopped
part
setting.
was
He stopped.
realized it.
Oh, I know.
And then everybody's like, why is Encore only lasting 3 turns? It's like, oh, you didn't know.
Mechanic change.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, the things Wobbuffet did best is, stopping the setup and things like that, sponging hits and dealing KOs. But everything hits so much harder now that it's really hard for Wobbuffet to be really effective. Instead of notching maybe, 2 kills and making people go insane, it could get 1. 1 kill, and that's about it.
One more thing it lost this generation was the surprise factor with Team Preview.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I don't want to say it's easy to work around Wobbuffet because it's not. But
you know
it's
what
easier
it is
when
easy
you
to
expect it.
It's easy to bait Wobbuffet.
Right.
You could bring in something you know Wobbuffet's going to want to trap. You could show a setup move and then, pull a double switch or something like that. And then Wobbuffet's in there with something he doesn't want to be in there with.
Right.
But yeah, Team Preview and the lack of Encore being awesome really hurt Wobbuffet. But I actually used him in RU a couple of times just because I was like, fuck, it's fucking Wobbuffet. What's gonna destroy him in RU? Nothing.
Really?
That isn't named Yen Mega. So so I was like, fuck it. And he did really well, and I was like, this is going at least up to UU, but I like the jump to BL. That's where it belongs.
Right. So
now to test why not.
Is there anything that doesn't one-hit KO why not this generation?
Probably not. RE stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everything's so strong that, the things in RU are pretty ridiculous anyway, so...
Right.
I'm gonna have to wait until NU comes out.
Yeah. Well, I don't see anything happening very much with Wobbuffet and why not until Shadow Tag Chandelure comes out.
That's gotta be that's gonna get banned. That's gonna be a Blaziken situation. Everybody's gonna be mad because they're gonna ban the whole Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, either that or they're just gonna ban Shadow Tag.
Yeah.
Because, why not is gonna be banned from whatever tier it ends up in. Wobbuffet's already in BL, which is a ban list.
Yep.
And I love Chandelure, but it is by no means a Flashfire Uber material. It's falling out of OU as we speak.
Oh, I know. It's actually on its way to UU, which is pretty interesting.
It makes me sad. It has the highest special attack of any non-Uber in the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's really good.
The only thing what's holding us back, it has base 80 speed or something like that. Unless you smurf it, it's not an effective revenge killer to abuse its huge special attack.
Well, a lot of people, they forget how slow Heatran is. Heatran is only base 77, I think it is.
Yeah, something like that.
And a lot of people fell in love with scarfing it early in the game, and then people discovered specs, and that specs overheat just destroyed nearly everything.
Oh, right.
And I think more people need to try and discover Spec Chandelure. I mean, you come in on something that it scares off, and you get a free specs overheat on whatever, and you know it's gonna do in the neighborhood of half.
Oh, exactly.
So, I mean, you guys gotta experiment more with Chandelure, because it is good, and, I mean, the speed is a setback, but it's bulky, it's got huge special attack.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, guys.
Right, it does. It has good all-around stats. It's just not very fast.
Yeah.
So, we beat the UU bands with a stick, and we got off on a tangent on other Pokemon that aren't as good as they should be. So, now that Garchomp has been out for almost an entire month, we're going to move on to the rain dominance that is starting to appear.
Yeah, because Politoed went from number 14 in usage all the way up to number 4.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't follow the usage charts, that is huge.
10 spots is incredible.
Yeah.
Things don't just happen like that. That's not just like a month fluke. I mean, when you take out a big Sandstorm player like that, people are going to look out elsewhere, and Politoed is there. I mean, and then when you look at all the other Pokemon that are top tier that get put in Sandstorm teams a lot of them start showing up in Rain as well. Like Ferrothorn is a big player in Rain. Sizer can work.
Right.
Gliscor is a new Rain player, which is pretty interesting.
Right.
He deals with a big weakness of, electric attacks and things like that.
Right, yeah. He completely sponges the 100% electric thunders.
Exactly, and he's got really good synergy with the Rain team, because naturally the Rain team's going to sponge, water and ice attacks, and he's going to take care of electric.
Alright, I can't wait to put Gliscor on a Drizzle team with my friggin' Empoleon.
Hell yeah.
Those two as defensive walls, forget it.
See, that was in the first team I ran ever in competitive play. I had a Gliscor Empoleon wall combo.
Yeah.
And it impressed a lot of people. Nobody used it. It was weird. I thought it was awesome.
Nobody realizes how much special defense that Empoleon has.
It's massive.
It is.
He's really good. He can sponge those hits really well. And he gets good status moves. He gets Yawn, so he can shuffle. And Oxic, things like that.
He has a lot of options.
Yes. And, the Steel type. Oh, baby.
Right.
Gotta love those Steel types.
So, with the Rain dominance, I mean, Thundurus, who is already a huge pain in the ass, becomes an even bigger pain in the ass, because he's everywhere now. He jumped from 17 in usage to number 9.
I was surprised that he was that low.
Yeah, so was I. Especially since he's the front runner to be the next Uber.
Yeah, he's gonna be the next to be banned. I mean, it's just automatic almost. He's not gonna stick around.
Right. Well, especially with the Rain Dance teams being so prevalent now.
Yeah.
Seeing Thundurus go would definitely put a dent in the usage of Rain Dance or Drizzle teams. Not completely knock it out, but Thundurus is the main player besides Politoed on the Drizzle teams at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, and you gotta look at. Here's the thing with Thunder is a lot of people don't understand why it's going to be banned or is even suspect. I mean, it just missed being banned last round for voting.
All right, it was off by a single vote.
Yes. And it's got good bulk. It's got a 125 base special attack. It's got access to Nasty Plot. Perfect coverage. It can two-shot a Bliss after Nasty Plot with Focus Blast. It's got 111 base speed, which is insane. That's like Garchomp syndrome in 4th gen.
Right.
It's got that 1-up speed, so nothing is real. You gotta scarf it to check it. Otherwise, it's like faster than everything else that's usable.
Right. And very few things can counter it.
It's I don't want to say it has no counters, but it's pretty damn close.
Right.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
Right. Well, everybody says bring a special sponge. Well, that's the major argument anybody ever has. Well, bring a fucking Blissey. Well, if I get up a nasty plot when you switch, I two-shot you.
Yeah.
With Focus Blast. Well, Focus Blast has shitty accuracy. That's not the point. The fact that I can two-shot you with Focus Blast ends the conversation, whether I miss or not.
Exactly.
What the hell is a Blissey going to do to Thunderous? Well, Blisseys carry Ice Beam.
It's not
Shut
gonna
the
kill.
fuck up. Really.
The only proactive thing Blissey could do to a Thunderous would be to paralyze it.
Right, hit it with a T-Wave.
Yeah. Otherwise, okay, Ice Beam, big whoop-de-damn doo-doo, two-shot.
Right. Anything that can two-shot Blissey with a special attack, you can't argue with that.
I know, you really can't.
I mean, that's like saying...
That's not even stab.
Right. Something that can two-shot Blissey with a non-stabbed move after a single boost, you're going to tell me that that's not shit? That's like saying that Choice Specs Dracometeor Latios is a pussy move. That's the comparison we've got moving on this.
Yeah.
But that's what people say, oh, it doesn't matter. I had this argument in the Quidzat yesterday with some retard, I don't remember who, but I was attacked by a gaggle of retards in the Quidzat yesterday. But well, Thunderous doesn't carry Focus Blast. The nasty plot ones generally do.
What else would you run?
Seriously.
You're running either Thunder or Thunderbolt, HP Ice, Focus Blast.
You could run the top special set and put Hurricane on it.
Yeah, if you're a massive cheater and don't care about anybody's life, you just put Hurricane on it. Nobody can get... Yeah. Whatever.
You'd have fooled me. I thought it got Hurricane for the longest time.
I think we got Hurricane. It would just be... It would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would. It would have been Uber a long time ago if it got Hurricane.
In before Move Tutor.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be...
Give me that Pokemon Gray Move Tutor.
So... The Rain Dominance is out now. Now we're going to go into another topic that I just got completely frustrated about yesterday in the Quidzat because I've been hearing this for a while, and I just don't think people understand the difference in the weathers that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
People are saying that since Drizzle and Swift Swim is banned, that the next step is to ban Chlorophyll and Drought and...
Sand Rush.
Yeah, Sand Rush. I always want to call it Sand Charge. I don't know why.
Because you charge at them with full speed.
Right. And Sand Rush and... Sandstorm.
Yeah.
And I don't know the last time you checked to see how many pokes get Swift Swim, but I took the time to look at the Cerebi list today.
Oh, did you?
And let me tell you.
Get him, tough.
And this is what sells Drizzle and Swift Swim over the other speed boosting weather abilities. And there is only one Pokemon that gets Swift Swim that does not get an accompanying stat. Actually, there's 3 now. My mistake. I was forgetting the Dream World abilities.
Yeah. There
are 3 Pokemon that do not get a stabbed, rain-boosted water move. Being Magikarp, Anorith. Yeah, Magikarp, Anorith, and what does Anorith evolve into? Armaldo.
Yeah, Armaldo.
There we go. Those are the only 3 that do not get a stab, 50% weather-boosted water attack.
One more. Beartic.
Oh, Bear Arctic. I forgot that got Swift. It was at the bottom of the list. I couldn't scroll that far down. But, I mean, those are the only 3 Pokemon. Now, let's move over to Drought, of all the Pokemon that get chlorophyll, not a single one of them gets a power boost on a stabbed move from the sun. Now, I know someone's going to say Solar Beam, but that is not a power boost. That merely makes it faster to use.
Yeah.
Which gets canceled if another weather switch is in.
Yeah, which is highly likely.
Right. So Solar Beam is not a valid argument on this. Every single of all the Pokemon that get chlorophyll, not one of them is fire type.
Right.
Almost all of them are part grass.
Right.
So that means, of all the Pokemon that get chlorophyll, every single one of them is going to be suffering from a super effective fire-type move from the opposing Pokemon that gets boosted in the sun. So that shoots chlorophyll being worthy of being banned because Swift Swim is banned. Now, let's move to Sand Rush, which I think all of 5 Pokemon get. And the only one that's even OU, I think, is Excadrill.
Yeah,
and we
sure.
all know that Excadrill is a bitch in the sand.
Right.
It is.
It is. But it has checks. It has... I don't want to say counters, because that's
right.
loose,
Well,
but it has lots of checks.
Right. Excadrill is weak to priority Mach Punch, weak to priority Aqua Jet. So it is weak to 2 of the priority moves. Well, actually, Vacuum Wave if you count Vacuum Wave. I always forget that one.
Right, yeah.
So it's weak to 3 of the 3 priority moves. So Excadrill is good, not good enough to ban Sandstream, because that would be the poke you have to prove it with, because I think that is the only one of the Sand Rush Pokemon that are a threat in OU. And we have to talk about OU, because OU is the only tier in which you can use Drizzle, Drought, and Sandstream.
Right.
So don't say, oh, well, I was talking about UU or something like that. Well, you fucking retard. You can't use any of those weathers outside of Sandstream in UU, and that's if you want to run a Hippopotas.
Yeah. And then what else are you going to run? You going to run Drillbur? You going to run Statland? Or how about that Sandslash?
Yep.
Yeah. No, you're not going to do that. Stop.
Is Sandslash even out yet?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
I didn't think it was last time I checked. I couldn't remember.
Like, people give a shit what's legal now, which is another big thing that we probably shouldn't talk about, because we'll talk for hours. But
yeah, we will leave a link to my video where I talk about that for 5 minutes.
Definitely.
The first of Tup's Tantrums videos.
Yes. Now, I want to touch on the chlorophyll, because... And you make a good point. All of them are weak to the boosted fire, which is always a big setback when you're trying to build a sun team. You're like, if I really want to abuse this, like 3 of my Pokemon are going to be auto weak to sun, and that's not good. All of them are part grass type.
Right.
All of them. And furthermore, I am just looking at the list of Pokemon off the top of my head. None of them learn a fire move other than HP Fire. So I just wanted to throw that out there. What?
That was the argument someone had with me yesterday.
What?
What breaks chlorophyll? Lilligant. What the fuck does Lilligant do in OU?
Nothing.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's
faster
than shit with chlorophyll, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah. Well, fuck everybody. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the main thing that you gotta take away from this is rain, when everyone that gets Swift Swim gets that rain boost. I mean, back when I was building rain teams in 4th Gen, I said, fuck with Synergy. You just pound Swift Swimmers, they get stab water moves, and you win. You hardly ever lose, unless somebody's a pretty good player. And that's all you really need to do with the rain team, and that is why it got banned. And that's why none of the other things are going to get banned.
Well, another thing that kills me about weather teams is nobody realizes that water or drizzle is the most abusable weather out there.
Yeah.
The most abusable. I'm not saying that it's necessarily the best weather. I'm saying it is the most easily exploitable weather there is out there because it does so many things for so many different Pokemon.
Oh yeah, are you a steel type and you got that fire weakness?
Exactly.
Throw rain on there. It's gone. It's magic. And okay, so rock types get a special defense boost. Nobody likes rock types anyways. Rock types are the redheaded stepchild of Pokemon. Right?
Well, the special defense boost for rock types doesn't help them with Mach Punch and close combat.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't help them with the things you need to worry about. Or how about, hey, my name's Sizer. I'm like one of the top 5 most used Pokemon of all time ever, and I have that Bullet Punch with Technician.
Yep. Right.
Exactly.
Well, again, the rock types, which is pretty much the only thing that can abuse the sand effectively.
Other than Excadrill and Landros, I guess, who gets sheer sand force. Right? So.
Right.
That's really it. Oh, and if you want to use Sandvale Gliscor, which you don't, because Toxickeel's awesome.
Right. Who needs Roost?
Exactly. It's a bullshit move anyways.
Yeah.
I predict Roost and go for Earthquakes all day, baby.
That's right. So, I think we've been talking about that for like 20 minutes now. Let's move on.
Yeah. So the next thing we really wanted to touch on is something that a couple days ago I posted on my Facebook because we were going to start this podcast, and I said, what do you guys want us to talk about? And this guy, he, let me bring up the exact quote, because I think we owe him that much. Now, just take me a while. Top, you want to intern to the people while I pull this up?
So, like Fizz says, what he did was he pretty much put out there, hey guys, what do you want us to talk about on this podcast? Because we don't only want to be just talking about what we want to talk about. We want to help you guys understand the game better and clear up things for you. Because I know it's just as frustrating for everybody else when someone's a big fuckhead about something and doesn't give a shit to learn anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it pisses me off more than someone who, hey dude, that's an unreleased Dream Mode ability. Well, I don't give a shit. And then he runs it for 5 more matches and wonders why people bitch at him.
Yeah.
But they don't care. So,
anyways, I got this pulled up now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just, his name was Rick. It's not dangerous though, So he said how he wanted to know about how there aren't that many legit breeders anymore, and that you either salve or you probably don't win. So he's making the correlation that if you breed, you can't win because people who Pokesalve naturally have an advantage. And so he's saying, not to be controversial about it, but there were days when hacking Pokemon was frowned upon. Now everyone is just lazy. It's a valid point, the second half, I'd say.
Right.
Back in the day, if you used Pokesalve, you were beat with a stick, your head was chopped off, they put it on a stake in the front lawn so they knew that that's how you just don't do it. You just don't. And, so there were lots of legit breeders there, and then RNG came out, and then I think when, they got the Emerald RNG, and that was still kind of, and then they cracked it for, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and I think that was the moment when a lot of breeders got discouraged, and said, well, what's the point anymore?
Oh, right.
So, and it's not the fact that people are lazy, it's just, I think they got, depressed isn't the right word, but beaten down by the RNG abuse. You can basically get anything you want with perfect stats, shiny or non-shiny, just by doing something at a certain time, doing it this many times, etc. So, I think that was the downfall of a lot of breeders. I know that's what happened to me. I said, I don't have time to put into it anymore, and it's just what's the point if there's all these RNG breeders? I can't keep up with the demand. I couldn't, and I was traders too. A lot of breeders are traders, obviously.
Right.
So, and how are you supposed to compete with the other people who aren't RNGing? You can't. There's just better options out there for other people.
Yeah.
And so, naturally, there's a lot less people who legit breed. Also, in correlation to that, there are a lot more YouTubers out there too. So, and I think that is also another contributing factor. But, I digress. My main point is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're bad or you have a disadvantage when you're a legit breeder. Some people put in the time and effort to actually breed flawlessly. I know I did. Or pretty damn close to it.
Yeah, I bred for the longest time.
Yeah.
Until I bred until about Platinum.
Yeah.
When Platinum came out, it was just, well, for me it was more, I didn't have time because I had my first kid and things like that. It wasn't the fact that I didn't enjoy breeding.
Breeding's cool.
Or anything like that, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, when you get that final result after you've been breeding for hours, days, weeks, however long it takes you, that's a satisfying feeling.
It really is. It's a rewarding experience, and especially if you... God, I remember one of my first breeding projects was I was breeding a Torchic for somebody, and I didn't have a sample like Blaziken that was flawless or from like another trade or anything, and I had to do it from scratch. So I mean, and that took like 2 months, and it was really rewarding when you get the 20 plus 31, 20 plus 25 plus 20 plus 31.
Yeah.
Now. And so yeah, it's and there's Amazing is a legit breeder, right?
I don't think he breeds anymore.
Really?
Dude,
sad.
5th Gen killed something that I don't think you mentioned was that 5th Gen killed what was left of most of the legit breeders because there's no auto level function anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Because before you could have your Pokemon completely ev'd legitly by level 5 and not have to do another thing.
Right.
Now, since you have to get it all the way up to level 100 legitly and not just rare candy the shit out of it, that takes a long fucking time. I don't know the last time anybody tried to level a Pokemon to level 100. That takes a long fucking time.
I remember doing it. It's like I said, that's a lot of run through the E4.
Yeah. But I mean, it's unfortunate to see that there are so few legit breeders, but I understand why that is.
Yeah.
Because I was in the same situation before. I didn't have as much time as I used to breed. So, and you feel like you're at a disadvantage because you don't have as many Pokemon available to you. Mm-hmm. You don't have as many Pokemon sets of the same Pokemon. Because if you breed out one, let's say you're going to breed out a Lucario, and it's going to be a physical set. Well, say you build another team and you want a special set, you got to breed out a whole other fucking Lucario for that.
Exactly.
Well, if it took you a week, 2 weeks to get that first Lucario, holy shit. By the time you get, how many Pokemon are in OU now? 53?
53.
If you get 53 Pokemon, and say, we'll ballpark a week per Pokemon, that's over a fucking year to get one of every one of those Pokemon. Now, granted, you can't breed every Pokemon in OU. I'm not retarded. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah. And think about it, you only get one set of all those Pokemon.
Exactly.
How predictable are you going to be?
Right. And especially if you upload onto YouTube, everybody sees your videos.
Yeah. That's a big disadvantage of being a breeder. I mean,
right.
You have to have multiple battles with the same team, most likely in a row.
Right.
So, it's like I said, it's all those contributing factors.
Right.
Tup added 5th Gen. That's a big one I didn't even think of.
Yeah.
people are YouTubing a lot now. I mean, there's countless amounts of people who have YouTube accounts that post battles.
Right. There's at least 20 times as many YouTubers uploading videos
than
than
was
what
a
there
year
were
ago.
in the Diamond Pearl
Yeah.
Platinum days.
Exactly.
Because I don't know, you and me started YouTubing about the same time. We started battling about the same time with Platinum and Pearl.
Yeah.
And I can remember when
Platinum
1,000.
out. Yeah.
I can remember on YouTube when 1,000 subs was a big fucking deal.
It was huge. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Oh, that was the famous of YouTube. I
Yeah.
can remember when we all hit 1K the first time, we're all like, well, we're all famous now.
Yeah.
I remember having that conversation. Hey man, you're famous now.
Exactly. Yeah. When I hit 1K, it was huge. Huge deal.
Right. And now you hit 1K and so what?
It's not a big thing at all.
Right.
I mean, it's a hump to get over.
Yeah.
Because to get that to that point right now is still hard, but
Yeah, it is.
it's not a big deal anymore. 10K is the new 1K. I'm not famous anymore.
Yeah.
It's a rough business.
Right. Well, I don't want to say this is a bad thing of what created that, but the collab channels like GTS and Ninbuzz and Pokemosh Pit, that brought the attention to the community.
Yeah.
Everybody can go to those and see a bunch of people. We aren't just watching our friends anymore.
Right.
Because back in the day when you and me started, you subbed to your friends, and those were the only people you freaking watched, besides
Exactly.
the were famous people.
Besides for Killer Nacho, that was basically it.
Yeah,
And
for
maybe
everybody
Nubs.
was subbed to Tim.
Yeah, everyone. If you were in Pokemon at all, a lot of people that didn't even battle were subbed to Tim. I mean,
Right. I can remember when the first time I battled Tim, that was the hugest freaking deal ever. And I was so freaking nervous.
Did you vomit beforehand?
No, I peed myself a lot before battling. No, I got so excited.
Yeah,
But it
I
was,
remember.
I mean,
Oh my god.
I can remember when Tim was the YouTube battler you wanted to battle because everybody was going to see your freaking battle.
Yeah.
And then you would get at least 150 subs from that shit.
He jump-started so many channels in his Pokemon YouTubing career. I don't think anyone has that pull anymore.
No.
Well,
There are very few people that can say, I mean, even to this day can say that they did that.
Yeah.
But there are quite a few people that I can give respect for bringing people to the forefront. Killer Nacho, King Daddy D-Mac, obviously, with the Pokemosh Pits.
Yeah.
Even though not everybody likes him, he did do this in a very excellent way, which was Xenon.
Yeah.
Or Xenon, or however you want to say it. But I give him the most credit of anybody who ever sported anybody. He got so many good people started that wouldn't have had shit. And he did it with a freaking smile, with asking nothing in return.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty amazing for someone to do. And it's hard to do.
Right. And he was one of the few people that would go out of his way to promote. He didn't just battle people. He would make videos saying, hey, this guy is good, go watch him, and that'd be the end of the fucking video.
Yeah.
And that was unheard of when he first started doing that.
Definitely.
But now that we're done dick sucking...
I think there was something else I wanted to add into that, but I have no idea what it was now.
Okay.
Anyways, so we'll move on, I suppose.
Yeah, we're moving on to we're done with breeding, or we need something to talk about with that?
Bottom line, breeders doesn't mean that you are at a disadvantage. That's all I want to say.
Right.
Okay. Now, speaking of the promotion of smaller channels, naturally, since we're on a semi-larger platform than most, we would like to give shout-outs to some of the smaller channels out there. Tuck, do you have anybody, or...?
I agreed with who you recommended.
Okay. So
I actually did a narration for him to help him, and I think he's a pretty cool guy.
Fantastic. So
I enjoy harassing the shit out of him.
We'll give the whole today's episode just in dedication to Our friend Zenobell 12, who will leave a link in the description. He also goes by Sage. He is a good battler, real nice guy. He's got
He's a real nice guy?
Yeah, he's a nice guy, right? I like him.
I like him too. I don't know if he's a nice guy.
Okay, well maybe he's not a nice. Maybe he's a douchebag.
He is an enjoyable person to be around.
There you go.
Because he's fun to troll.
He's
if you come to the Quidzat and you see him, his name is usually BM Swag / some shit, the Sage, or Zenobell 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to come to Quidzat and tell him that Tup says, hello, bowel movement swag.
There you go. Get him. Also, he's got innovative stats and stuff, so it's not just the same old boring whatever.
Right.
He's not
a huge origifag, as I'm sure all you Wild Chase bitches are, oh my god, he uses original sets.
Yeah.
He does a nice mix.
Yeah. And right now, he's only sitting at 325, which is not a terrible number, but when I look at the quality of videos he puts out...
He should have more.
He's got quality narrations, exciting battles, uses a wide variety of movesets and stuff like that. He should have more.
And he's black.
How many things can you have going for a single person?
I mean, seriously. That completely launched Shofu's career. So why can't it work for Sage? Or Zenobell 12?
Yes, there you go. Zenobell 12. Check him out on YouTube. We'll leave a link in his description. There you go. And I'm going to say it anyways, even though I already said we'd give the whole dedication to him. A not Pokemon channel for you guys to subscribe to, and Tup will just agree because I'll make him. It's called Power Level, and it's run by HighInFiber, who he will do podcasts or first impressions of games out there for. It's kind of like a game review channel. It's called Power Level with the last E is a 3. We'll leave a link down there also. Really informative, knows what he's talking about, and has a lot of information for the video gaming community. Now
awesome.
He'll love me forever. What?
Said which is awesome.
Yes, indeed. So, any more suggestions for smaller channels, or we'll leave that to next time?
We'll leave that to next time.
I think 2's plenty.
Yeah. Speaking of next time, if you guys have questions for us relating to Pokemon or us personally, both are fair game.
Yep.
Leave them in the comments below.
Most definitely.
And provided they aren't completely retarded, we will get to as many of them as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, we will. Because it's about what you guys want for the most part.
Right. Like I said, we are doing this for your guys' benefit. As much as we enjoy doing this, we're men of the people.
You enjoy doing this?
Well, you gotta say that.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely leave comments. We like comments. Leave questions.
Yep.
Leave feedback. Whatever.
Comments, questions, feedback.
Whatever
Let
you'd
us
like
know.
to see us do differently or what have you.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if it will be specifically next time, but in upcoming episodes, we'll have we'll be spotlighting Little Cup, because Little Cup's fun. I don't think it gets enough attention. There's only a handful of people who are pretty knowledgeable about Little Cup. So maybe
unfortunately, nobody knows the rules. And that was my biggest setback, was I don't like Google. And anytime someone said, hey, want a Little Cup battle, I'd say, oh, what's the rules? Well, then they'd be like, Google. And I'd be like, fuck you, Google's not the rules. What are the rules? Well, thank God Moody Pones made a video with the rules, and she linked shit and all the fun stuff that you need. So
we love Mott's. She's a friend of the show, even though she doesn't know it yet.
Right.
So maybe sometime in the future we'll have her on for a little bit, talk about Little Cup. Also, like
I
Cup
think
said,
because I don't know shit about Little Cup.
I know my fair share, but I mean, how many people want to listen to only me drone on about Little Cup? Because I'm highly opinionated about it.
Yeah, all you're gonna say about Little Cup is bunch of fucking munchlax. We don't want to listen to that shit.
I actually, I don't run Munchlax Little Cup because I think it sucks.
Dude, I just saw it in your last standard battle, but you're gonna say it sucks in Little Cup.
It's a beast in standard. What do you mean? Clearly it's good in Little Cup. I just don't prefer it.
Right.
But we'll touch on that next time when we actually get in depth with Little Cup. I'll tell you all the things that I like and hate, and you guys will use the things that I hate and tell me to fuck off. Also, in upcoming episodes, like Tup said at the beginning of the show, which was hours ago, it seems like.
53 minutes almost.
There you go. We will be talking about the trading card game, because I'm starting to dabble. I'm a bit of a noob. If you are on my channel, then you see some of the online games that I post. I'm still fairly shitty.
We will probably also be bringing in a guest to help us discuss that as well.
Yes, most definitely. And they'll more or less take over the show for that period of time. So.
Yeah. And he will probably be a boss.
I think he's going to be some kind of boss he's got good Chinese sauce.
Yeah, the boss sauce. For those of you who know who we're talking about, will absolutely get that reference. For those of you who don't, fuck you.
Yep. You should get that reference. And if
you're subbed to us, you should be subbed to him.
Yeah, because there's no excuse. He should have exactly the same amount of subs I have, except one less, because he's my rival.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to look at black screens while we talk, do you, Tup?
No, black screens are more boring than listening to us.
I mean, I love black screens, but not everybody loves black screens.
Yeah.
So, what that means is, Tup and I are nowhere near anything that you could call an artist.
Yeah, we are not artistic, we are autistic, so we'll get that out of the way right now.
We suck at art, is the main point.
Yeah, I failed drawing stick figures in high school.
Is that a class? They have that?
Yeah, art for retards. I failed the special ed art class, man, I'm not kidding.
Oh my god. Anyways, so we would appreciate, yeah, we are. If a fan out there, if we have those, would like to submit some artwork for The Last Resort, which is the name of our show. We are The Last Resort for everything. And so if you want to make some sort of graphic, cool with swirlies and lightning and tits. Not tits, because this is YouTube. You can't do that.
Yeah, we don't want to get flagged, because then we'll probably lose our posting over 15-minute status.
Yeah, I don't want that at all.
Yeah, we'd have to break this up into 50 parts to post, and that would be shitty.
That would be horrible. We used to do that on the Average Asylum channel. Or I used to do that.
I remember listening to you bitch about it.
It sucked. It was the worst thing ever. And, we were a really fairly bad podcast, so I had to edit out lots of dead air. Dead air and, RTS's mic going... So
good times. Those were good times.
They were great times. So, I digress. We need art.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'd like some images to throw up.
Yeah.
And we will give you credit if you submit it, and especially if you give us something super awesome.
Yeah, if you submit poop on a stick, we won't care.
Yeah, we will bend over and take it for you.
We'll tell everybody to flame you. Ah!
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, we'll give you a big time shout out if you make a quality piece of art for us. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm just saying right now, don't be pissed off if we don't use your art.
Yeah.
Because there are people we have in mind that are going to submit to this who are probably going to give us some pretty decent stuff.
But we want to have a market of art.
Yeah.
So, I think that's gonna wrap up today's show. Any last thoughts? Or
Chlorophyll sucks.
Chlorophyll sucks unless your name is Venusaur.
Yeah.
I like that growth.
The only other Pokemon that I like Chlorophyll on, even though it's not as good as its new Dream World ability, is Tangrowth.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make Tangrowth good fast enough to use No U anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There you go. So, that's our final thought. Stop bitching about the weather just because Whistling got the complex ban. It's the right thing to do. Fuck yourself.
Yep.
And, I'm gonna go out with the quote, Tuff.
Alright, you got the outro?
Yeah. We may not always be your first choice, but we are always the last resort. So long, guys.
Catch you on the flip side, guys. Peace out.